From when I was here with my mother a long time ago, I mean. The elderly face softened.
Lydia was a special person. You have a look of your mother about you.
Thank you. Rachel's voice wavered. Even after 10 years, the mention of her mother could do that to her.
Yes, well, the question is whether you'll suit me as well as she did.
Ms. Withers seemed to be sizing Rachel up.
Lydia never argued. I can't stand people who argue with me.
Since she thought it highly unlikely she'd want to argue with this woman or anyone else, Rachel just nodded. Seizing the opportunity, she assessed her prospective employer in turn. Gray hair swept back from Ms. Withers' thin face to hug her head, making her face appear even thinner. Her blue eyes weren't quite as forbidding as those in the portrait, but her thin lips formed a straight line that suggested firmness, maybe even stubbornness.
You'll have a bedroom and bath to yourself, along with your salary, the woman went on. And I don't expect you to act as a nurse. I don't like people fussing over me.
She paused as if for emphasis, but she was speaking like everything had been settled.
And no heavy cleaning. There's a service.
She stopped at the sound of the front door opening and the click of heels on the hall floor. A second later, a woman appeared in the archway, already talking.
I've brought those papers, Aunt Geraldine.
She gave Rachel a quick, questioning glance before putting a glossy folder on the lamp table next to Ms. Withers.
I'm sure you'll be impressed by all this new housing complex has to offer.
Rachel knew the woman by sight, as she knew most people in Riverhaven. Lorna Withers' husband was Richard Withers, and his father had been Ms. Withers' younger brother. Everybody knew about the Withers family. They'd been the founders of Riverhaven, and its most important residents for a long time. Richard ran the largest real estate agency in Riverhaven, probably in the whole county, and his wife had her finger in every civic event in the area. Amish women didn't pay much attention to women's fashions, but Rachel knew expensive clothing when she saw it. Ignoring Rachel as if she were a piece of furniture, Lorna plunged ahead. Not sure whether she should stay or go, Rachel took a step back. Trying not to listen, she gazed out the large front window. The house was on a rise overlooking the whole town. It seemed almost isolated from the town, with only 2 other houses along the street, and the ground rising behind them to the woods and the ridge. She moved restlessly from one foot to the other. Lorna had picked up the folder and was now urging her aunt, by marriage, to look at it. Rachel could see Ms. Withers' face setting into rigid lines. The more Lorna insisted, the deeper the stubbornness grew. Well, Rachel could handle stubbornness, that was certain sure. After 10 years of managing her dad and brothers, there was nothing Ms. Withers could teach her about being stubborn. Dad had been compared to a mule more than once by her irreverent younger brothers. But not in his hearing, of course. You can see what lovely facilities they're building over at Green Lawns. It would be perfect for you. Lorna thrust what seemed to be a colorful brochure into Ms. Withers' hands. The woman responded by letting the brochure slip through her fingers to the floor. Rachel's lips twitched. Green Lawns, indeed, Ms. Withers snorted. Sounds like a cemetery to me. Now she had to hide a smile at the woman's tactics, so Rachel bent to pick up the brochure. A quick glance told her it advertised the new retirement community being built over near Fisherdale. She held it out to Ms. Withers, who waved it away. Lorna snatched it from her hand and put it down on the table carefully. Now, Aunt, you know Richard talked to you about this, and you agreed you'd consider it. Lorna sounded like her patience were wearing thin. If they were going to quarrel, Rachel thought maybe she should excuse herself. She gestured toward the door. If you'd like me to come another day, she began. But Ms. Withers struck the floor sharply with her cane, ensuring silence. She drew herself up, her eyes flashing.